your girl Jade Ashley, and I know it has been a long time, but I am now back with a new video of when the beat drops. So if you're interested in hearing my 5 hot beats of this week, you know you have to stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so let's dive into this week's beats. So the first beat of this week, I do want to talk about the 2015 Grammy Awards, which happened last weekend, and there was so much to talk about. So I could not wait to come back this weekend, you know, get right into the award show. So let me head over to my Grammy Award notes, because I took a separate thing of notes just by watching the show. So the first things first, I do want to discuss some of the performances, not all of them, but some of the performances. And one of the first performances I do want to talk about is Ariana Grande, and I feel like she did an amazing job. At first it kind of, you know, started off a little bit slow, and what I mean by slow is like I felt like she was mumbling to the point that I didn't understand what she was singing. But as the performance went along, you know, she kind of picked it up, and then, you know, she was, you know, singing, you know, because we all know that she can sing. And even after she finished her performance, she had like this little sigh of relief, like, yes, I finally did it. And, you know, we all kind of like seen that on her face. But other than that, I feel like her performance was very well, and I know she's like a real vocalist, so I was excited to actually see her perform at this year's award show. Next, I do want to talk about Kanye West's performance of his song Only One. It was rumored that he was going to be performing, and they were saying something like never before heard song, so we didn't know what it was going to be, but it turned out he did Only One. As you guys know, he wrote that song for his daughter North, because he felt like it was his mom, the late Dr. Donda West, speaking through him to her granddaughter. So it was very much a simple performance, but it was also the right setting. He showed the right emotion and stuff. So kudos to Kanye. I liked his performance. Katy Perry's performance, and her performance, the intro to her song, I forgot the name of the song she did, something with Thank the Lord or something like that. I'll be sure to put the name of the song that she performed. But the intro to her performance, she there was a lady on stage who shared her experience as far as like being in a domestic violence situation and stuff or whatever. And then after she, you know, gave her speech, Katy, she came out in like this all white dress, and she just looked, it was kind of resembled Solange Knowles' recent wedding gown, but she looked amazing. Her vocals were on point. She has like real good singing abilities. But moving on from Katy Perry's performance, I do want to talk about Rihanna, Kanye West, and Paul McCartney's performance of For 5 Seconds. Seeing her perform that song live for the first time with Kanye and Paul McCartney, I was like, you know what? It's starting to grow on me. I think I just needed to see her perform it live, just that one good time for it to start growing on me, to the point that now I can just sit here and I can start singing. But what I loved about their performance, I loved how they were all like coordinated, and like their suits and stuff or whatever, like that was like real good. And one thing I have to say about that performance is Rihanna, vocally, she's grown vocally. Like her vocals have gotten stronger, to the point that when I was sitting there watching the performance, I was like, yes, Rihanna, girl, that's you. Not to say that she couldn't sing before, but Rihanna has never been like that strong vocalist. But that performance at the Grammys, you can tell she brought it. You can tell she's been working on her voice, and it's just only making me excited for her new album to come out, and I just can't wait. So yeah. So moving on from that performance, I do want to have to keep it on Kanye for a real quick second, because at the end of the Grammys and throughout this entire week, everyone has been talking about Kanye West trying to pull another Kanye moment, and it happened when they announced the album of the year, and Beyonce was in that category, and unfortunately she lost to a singer by the name of Beck. I have not heard of him until, you know, this year's Grammys Awards, and he actually won the album of the year category. And Kanye, he actually walked up on stage and was about to interrupt the same way he did Taylor Swift. Check out this clip right here.
With us. We ain't finna play with them no more. Flawless Beyonce video. And Beck needs to respect artistry, and he should have given his award to Beyonce. And at this point, we tired of it, because what happens is when you keep on punishing art and not respecting the craft and smacking people in the face after they deliver monumental feats in music, you're disrespectful to inspiration, and we as musicians have to inspire people.
So as you can see, that has been like the talk of the week. People weighing in and saying whether or not Kanye should have did it or not. And of course Kanye should have not done it, but he's Kanye West. Like, what do you expect out of him? So moving on from that, I do want to talk about the last two performances of the night. And they also not caused like controversy, but it was also some talk about these performances as well. In the first performance, the second to last performance of the night was Beyonce. She performed Precious Lord, and it was in conjunction with the Selma, tribute. And it wasn't part of the Selma tribute, but it was like the introduction to the Selma tribute. Beyonce looked beautiful without a doubt. I mean, she's Beyonce. I absolutely loved her dress. It was amazing. And I like the whole setup when she had like the all-male choir behind her. And they provided vocals, and they kind of did the hands up, don't shoot thing that's been going around as far as what's been going on in the media with the killings and everything or whatever. So I like the whole setup of it, the whole all white and angelic. But I will say at first, I think it started off a little to me, and I hate when I feel this way about certain artists because I don't want to feel this way. But if I'm going to be honest, I have to be honest. So at first it kind of started off slow. I was like, Beyonce, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Come on, girl, you're Beyonce, pick it up, please. So it started off slow, and I was like, and then eventually it started picking up and picking up and picking up. And then, Beyonce, she went off and she did her thing, and she ended off with a bang. And I was like, yes, that's how you do it, Queen B. And then following Beyonce's performance, there was like I said, the Selma tribute. Beyonce did the intro, and John Legend and Common, they did their song Glory, which is nominated for an Oscar. Woo! Which I'm excited about. And I just think it's an amazing thing. I don't ever remember there being like a Black History type of segment or a Black History type of tribute going on in the Grammys, especially because the Grammys happened during February, which is Black History Month. So I was very glad to see that performance be the last performance to close out the show and let these people know, like, yes. And Common and John Legend, they did an amazing job. They couldn't have done it. Like, that was definitely hands down one of the best performances of the night. I do want to kind of end things off with talking about some of the winners that happened, or some of the people that walked away with Grammys that night. So, like I mentioned before, Beck beat Beyonce for Album of the Year for his album Morning Phases. Record of the Year went to Sam Smith with Stay With Me. He also won a Grammy for Song of the Year. Best Pop Solo Performance went to Pharrell Williams for his song Happy. Best Pop Vocal Album went to Sam Smith for his In the Lonely Hour album. The Best Surround Sound Album went to Beyonce for her self-titled album Beyonce. Best Pop Duo / Group Performance went to A Great Big World with Christina Aguilera with Say Something. And Best Traditional Pop Vocal Album went to Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett for their album Cheek to Cheek. Best Rap Performance went to Kendrick Lamar for his song I. And then Best Rap Song / Sung Collaboration went to Eminem featuring Rihanna for their song The Monster. Best Rap Song went to Kendrick Lamar for his song I. Best Rap Album went to Eminem for his album The Marshall Mathers LP 2. Best R&B Performance went to Beyonce featuring Jay-Z for Drunken Love. Best Traditional R&B Performance went to Robert Glasper Experiment featuring Layla Hathaway and Malcolm Jamal Warner, Jesus Children. And Layla Hathaway was one of my mom's favorite singers, by the way. And R&B song, Best R&B Song went to Jay-Z and Beyonce for Drunken Love. Best Urban Contemporary Album went to Pharrell for his album Girl. And Best R&B Album went to Toni Braxton and Babyface for their song Love, Marriage, and Divorce. And I love their song Hurt You. I never meant to hurt you. Never meant to break your heart, baby. I love that song. And then also, Erica Campbell, one half of Mary Mary, she won the Grammy for Best Gospel Album, and Lecrae won the Best Contemporary Christian Music Performance Song of the Year. So congratulations to everyone. I have to say that I'm not really disappointed with the winners. I'm definitely excited for Kendrick Lamar. When I heard that Kendrick Lamar won 2 Grammys, honestly, I felt a moment of where I wanted to cry for him, because he honestly was robbed for Grammys last year for his debut album, and for him to get 2 Grammys for one song and his second album did not come out yet, I was like, yes, Kendrick. I was so happy for him. And speaking of Kendrick Lamar, I want to segue into the second beat of this week, and I want to keep the topic on Kendrick Lamar, because although he is now a Grammy Award winning rapper, he released his new song, The Black of the Berry, about a day or 2 after the Grammy Awards. And when I tell you, when Kendrick releases music, everyone bows down. That's how it is, because he is definitely by far one of the best rappers, lyricists of this year. And when his song Black of the Berry, the truth that he speaks in that song is about African American stereotypes, what people see within that goes on within the black community, how people, you know, judge and stuff or whatever. Just everything about being black, how, you know, those that are not black, how they view the black community, how like racial profiling, just everything. It's just Black Power song, obviously hinting the title, The Black of the Berry. And one of the verses I do want to read, and it's not the entire verse, but it is part of the 3rd verse of the song. He says, "So don't matter how much I say I like to preach with the Panthers, or tell Georgia State Marcus Garvey got all the answers, or try to celebrate February like it's my B-Day, or eat watermelon, chicken, and Kool-Aid on Wednesdays, or jump high enough to get Michael Jordan endorsements, or watch BET because urban support is important. So why did I weep when Trayvon Martin was in the street, when gang banging make me kill a nigga blacker than me? Hypocrite." Like, when I tell you, he went off. Like, I absolutely love that song. And it's like he just keeps on coming and coming, and you just cannot wait for him to, you know, come out with his album. So if you want to hear that song in its entirety, you can head over to my blog at www.jade-ashley94.blogspot.com. It's already up there, and I hope you love the song as much as I did. And what I also did was attach the Rap Genius website, so you can check out all of the lyrics in the song in its entirety. It's like, even if it's not a song, it's like you have to sit there, you have to read the lyrics, and there's some truth to it. He encourages us to, you know, be proud to be black, and shout outs to Kendrick. I just cannot wait for that album. I really cannot. Okay guys, so let's get into the 3rd beat of this week. And a couple of videos ago, I don't remember how many videos ago, but I talked about how R&B Divas Atlanta had been canceled from TV1, but then like the week after, another statement was released that, you know, it wasn't, you know, canceled or whatever, but R&B Divas LA made its return back to TV1 this week. Now they're back with a new season so soon, and I'm not complaining about that. So I'm actually excited. So this week they premiered their new season, and I just want to, you know, kind of talk about what happened within like just the first episode alone, because even on my hiatus I was like, oh gosh, I was supposed to let them know that there was supposed to be a new season. So if you guys don't know, there is a new season of R&B Divas LA on TV1 on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. and now I'm just gonna get into what happened within like this first episode and what I think and everything. So yeah, so the first episode, it kind of started off with obviously it picked up with what happened with the reunion and stuff, and just about every diva came back. We have Little Mo, we have Michelle, we have Shantae Moore, we have Leela James, and that's it, right? Oh, and Chrisette Michele. How can I forget my aunt Chrisette Michele? But the only person that did not return for this season is Claudette Ortiz. According to the cast, they said on the show that it was like kind of like management type stuff that kind of brought her back here east to New Jersey, so she's getting her points. So I'm hoping that is the case, and I'm hoping that we get to hear new music from her, and I'm hoping that all of the drama that happened within like the last season and all the drama that happened within the reunion did not kind of push her away. So Claudette is not in this season. Layla James was not on the first episode only because she was in, I think, Australia or something like that. She was on tour, so she's out there touring other countries, getting her point. And then we're finally introduced to Little Mo's new husband, Dynamite, I think his name is. He's like a boxer. If you follow Little Mo on social media, then you've seen him 1,000 times. They even have their own Instagram, The Dynamo Show. So we're finally introduced to him on this season. You know, we kind of saw last season how her previous marriage fell apart, and now this season she's introducing, I think they're legally married now if I'm not mistaken, but even on the first episode of the season, he's introduced as her husband, basically. And you kind of get to see how like they interact like on camera, opposed to them just interacting with each other on social media, or how they interact on social media. So they seem to be a good fit. And then continuing with Little Mo, I love how they got straight to the music within like this first episode. She released her latest album, The Scarlet Letter, a couple of months ago, back in 2014, and we get to see her do her album release party. She sits there and she performs and sings her face off and stuff. All of the divas come out to support her, and then at her show, Shantae Moore asks all of the ladies, she asks Little Mo, Michelle, and Chrisette to go up to Big Bear Mountain in California with her, and she basically wanted them to go for like a retreat or whatever. And basically they were doing exercises and stuff so they can learn to trust one another. So I feel like this first episode was kind of like, let's rebuild, let's leave what happened last season and last season. Like they kind of joked and played back and forth about when Shantae brought the security guard at the reunion and everything, but it seemed like everyone, they were able to coexist with one another. They were able to talk about what happened. They were able to apologize. They were able to say, I know I need to trust people and that is my issue. So it seems like they're starting off with a fresh start and it's all good. And that was something I was like happy to see, because this is not what you usually see on other reality shows. It's like, y'all got beef, and that's just the end of it. So like, even though there was like drama within last season, I like that they kind of like mended relationships and they're like trying to make things better. And I think other reality shows need to take note of that. But other than that, the preview as far as like what we can expect for the upcoming season, they talk about the 2 new divas that will be joining them, and one of the first divas that will be joining them is a singer by the name of Brave Williams. So when I first seen her, I was like, this girl looks so familiar. Where do I know her from? So, you know, I had to sit here, look up the cast and stuff and see where I knew this girl from. She is the girl from, or one of the girls that was in the group Rich Girl. So one of the groups that, you know, came on 106 & Park and had like a video or two on the countdown for some time was a group by the name of Rich Girl. Now we all know Sevyn Streeter. Now Sevyn Streeter was actually one of the members of Rich Girl. So when Sevyn Streeter came out, I was like, I know her. She was that girl from Rich Girl. So Brave Williams, I was like, okay, I know who she is. She's a girl from Rich Girl. It's like each of them, now that the group is not together, they're all like finding their way to come up as like solo artists. So I knew exactly who she was, and she seems to be, I guess you can say, like a peaceful person, because the other new diva who will be coming in this season is a singer by the name of Stacey Francis. Now her face looked familiar, but as far as like what I learned about her or what I read about her, like I think she was like on X Factor or something like that, one of them singing shows that I don't watch. She seems like she's going to be the person to come here and cause a lot of the drama. Like I said, all of the remaining cast members for this first episode, they were like building relationships, and then in the upcoming episodes, the 2 new divas will be introduced. And what the previews kind of showed was that Stacey will be the one to cause all of the drama. But I will say I am actually kind of excited to check it out. Like, they came back so quick compared to R&B Divas ATL, so they must have good stuff going on this season. I'm excited. So like I said, you can catch R&B Divas LA on TV1 Wednesday nights Eastern time at 10 p.m. and I will be checking it out, and I hope you are too. So moving on to our fourth beat of this week, I do want to kind of talk on the topic of Bobbi Kristina. As we all know, since the ending of January, she has been in the hospital fighting for her life in Atlanta. It was reported that she had been found in her Atlanta home face down in the bathtub, unresponsive, and she was found by her alleged husband, because since the incident happened, it's been revealed that her and Nick Gordon are not technically legally married, but I will say her significant other, Nick Gordon, and another friend, and then she had been rushed to the hospital. And there has been so many rumors these past couple of weeks as far as like what's going on with her. There's been rumors as far as like she's been brain dead. There has been rumors about how family members are encouraged to say goodbye to her because she's not gonna make it, she's gonna die. And one of the rumors that kind of like stirred up recently was that her family was going to take her off life support on the anniversary of her mother's death. Of her mother's death, and that was this past Wednesday, which was February 11th. It was the 3rd anniversary of Whitney Houston's passing, and it was rumors saying that her grandmother, Cissy Houston, felt like it was important for her to, you know, take her last, you know, breath, because like right now she's like on a respirator or something like that to help her breathe, but they were going to let her go that day because it felt like it was spiritual for her and Whitney to be forever bonded or something like that. But those were all lies. She's still living, to my knowledge. She's still within a hospital. She's still unresponsive. I don't think she's breathing on her own. But her aunt and her cousin did an interview with E.T. Entertainment Tonight, and they kind of, you know, talked about her conditions and stuff or whatever, and they said that she is improving every day. They said that they have faith that she will get through this and that she will be perfectly fine and she will, you know, get her life back on track. And I'm hoping that is the case because we've seen Bobbi Kristina have her moments here and there, especially after her mom passed away. And it's only, not everyone understands what it's like not to have a mother, or what it's like to lose a mother tragically. Yeah, so I mean, I can understand her, but I mean, I think it's just somebody that needs to just let her know, like, girl, it's gonna be okay. She's only 21. She's turning 22 next month, so she has so much life to live. And it's unfortunate that we've seen her in the media kind of spiral out of control, only for it to be just like this. And to this day, we don't know, is she gonna see 22? I'm hoping that by the time her birthday comes around, she's, you know, breathing on her own, her eyes are open, she's able to speak. Like, I'm just hoping and praying that her condition gets better, because it's sad. Like, it really much is sad. Is new reports saying that Nick Gordon is being investigated by police. They believe that a couple of days before it was saying something about how there was like a domestic violence type of situation. So her family members are very much, you know, convinced that he had something to do with her, you know, being face down in the tub, and they're trying to sketch everything together and make sense out of the situation and figure out why is it that she was found in the bathtub unresponsive the same way her mother was found. So yeah, pray for the Brown and Houston family. And yeah, so moving on to my final beat of this week, I have to talk about Drake. I have to talk about Drake. So late last night, Drake, he tweeted out a picture of an album cover, and it said, if you're reading this, it's too late, and there was a link to iTunes. He released a surprise project. Now, I don't want to call it an album, but I don't want to call it a mixtape, because I have it and I brought it and I was very much convinced this was an album. But then people are saying it's a mixtape because we were convinced that his next album was supposed to be Views from the Six. So I will just call it a project. So late last night, on February 12th, Drake released his new project. If you're reading this, it's too late. And it is a 17-track project, and I don't want to do a review on it because I've only had it for like 24 hours. But what I will, you know, is kind of like, I guess, give like first impressions. So first and foremost, because Drake came out of nowhere with this, everybody was like, oh, Drake is trying to pull a Beyonce, and because, you know, Beyonce just came out of nowhere. And I mean, it is kind of similar to what Beyonce did, but at the same time, it's kind of different, because with Beyonce's situation, we had no music from Beyonce at all whatsoever. You know, she just was on tours, you know, she was killing it, Mrs. Carter World Show, and then she popped up with an album. That was it. Now Drake, on the other hand, he has been giving us new music. Like, he was just recently nominated for a Grammy for 0 to 100, and then, you know, he had like How About Now, that's still on the radio and stuff. So he's giving us music. It's not like we don't have no new Drake music, and it's not like we were not expecting an album from him. We just didn't know when an album was going to release. So it's like, yeah, he kind of pulled Beyonce, but he did not pull up Beyonce the way a Beyonce did it. So everybody chill out. Yeah, I understand he dropped it without us knowing, but at the same time, the logistics before the album dropping was completely different from Beyonce. So technically it's not him pulling a Beyonce, but he did surprise us in a different way and just put out a whole new project. Now, a lot of people are saying it's a mixtape, but for it to be 17 tracks, I'm like, boy, that sounds like an album to me. But I was looking for Drake to confirm whether or not, okay, Views from the Six is still coming out, or no, this is my album. Because he could have, you know, let us on to say Views from the Six is in the album, and we just had to wait for it to come out, or whatever the case may be. But this is the second person on the Young Money roster to actually release a full-length project since that whole, I don't know if I'm going to call it Young Money Gate or something like that, because it's like this whole thing going on with Young Money and whatnot. But what I will say is that Drake, he did the damn thing with it. And I have to say, right off the bat, my favorite song from the first moment I heard it was his song Energy. Like, just the beat of it. Like, I cannot wait to play that album in my car. Like, tomorrow, I will be driving the streets of Brooklyn blasting that album, just to let y'all know. So make sure y'all check out my Instagram, because I might post an Instagram video of me driving and blasting that album. Because that's what the first thing I thought about when I was listening to that album. I was like, nah, this album is going to sound live in my car when I'm driving. So that's one thing. So I will say right off the bat that one of my favorite songs so far, like, I can't say like how many is my favorite so far, because like I said, it's only been a day, but Energy is definitely one of my favorites. And then another favorite of mine that I've liked so far is his song Preach, featuring Party Next Door. Now, I love Party Next Door. Like, I love him. I love him. I love him a lot. So I really like that song as well. But I think if there's one song that has everyone talking right now, it's his song 6 p.m. in New York. And the only reason why a lot of people are talking about that is only for the simple fact that they was like, yo, Drake, he throwing shots at Tyga, because y'all know back in like October, I think that was, or something like that, Tyga, he did a interview with Vibe magazine, and this is him speaking out on his tweets, talking about how he wants to leave Young Money, how Young Money won't let him release his album. And he kind of said, you know, well, I'm not even cool with Drake like that, I'm not even cool with Nicki like that. It was kind of like a forced relationship. The only genuine relationship I had within the whole Young Money roster was with Lil Wayne. So, you know, they kind of did tit for tat on social media after that situation happened. But in the song 6 p.m. in New York, Drake said, I heard a little homie talking reckless and vibe. Quite a platform for you to choose. You should have kept it inside. Oh, you tried it. It's so childish calling my name on the world stage. You need to act your age and not your girl's age. And I was like, oh, he talking about Kylie, because y'all know Kylie not even 18 yet. She only 17. And I was like, golly, Jesus. I was like, yo, I was like, bring it on. Bring the drama on in 2015. Why not? Like, come on, let's do it. Let's do it. It's entertainment for us all. I have a beat to talk about each week. I'm just saying. But I will say I'm enjoying the project, because I said I'm not going to call it an album because I don't know if it's an album, but I'm enjoying the project so far. And I was going to class early and I was bumping it and I was like, yes, Drake. So probably next week I will do a proper, don't quote me on it, but I'm looking to probably do a proper like review. But I just wanted to give like my first impressions, because you know, this is definitely the talk of today, because, you know, Drake sprung it upon us, and it's like so much going on in New York right now, so it is like, oh, Drake just dropped some new heat out of nowhere. So I'm excited. I like when there's new music, I'm happy to talk about it, as you guys can see. So those are my 5 hot beats of this week. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for tuning into this week's video of When the Beat Drops, and like always, you know I have to remind you guys to comment on my videos, like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and share my videos with others. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button, don't forget to comment below, and don't forget to share my video on social networking, and you can also tag me as well. And I have no notes this week, so I will leave you with my song of the week, and this weekend is my 21st birthday, so this is my last video of When the Beat Drops as a 20-year-old or whatever. That's so corny. But I decided to make my song of the week When You're Mad by Neo. For anybody who truly knows me personally, you know that When You're Mad has literally been my song since 2006, when his album, In My Own Words, his debut album came out. I was in 6th grade, and kid y'all not, I used to go to school late because I would refuse to leave my house until I heard that song. So I used to have the radio on, I used to have BET on, I used to have VH1 on, and I used to have MTV on, and I would flip between each channel, and I would wait for the video to come on. I would constantly check the radio waiting for the song to come on, and when the song came on, I would leave the house. And I used to be late to school, and the thing about it is, I lived directly across the street from my elementary school, and or junior high school at the time, but I would not leave. That's how much I love that song, and I said if I ever get married, this song has to be played at my wedding. So that is a fun fact about Jade Ashley. My favorite song ever of all time is Neo's When You're Mad, and because it is my birthday this week, I felt like it was only right that I chose it as my song of the week. So I will see you guys next week for an all new When the Beat Drops. So bye guys.
What we was mad about, oh, a little wrinkle over your nose.